Okay, so I witnessed the coolest shit today. I witnessed a woman who I like. She's top tier. She's one. I don't get nervous to either confront someone or talk to someone. If I got something to say, I'm just I'm gonna say it, right? With her, I respect her so much that it makes me nervous to not nervous like I can't do it because I got to do it, but it makes me nervous to make sure I have the right words. Make sure because this ain't a regular chick. You can't just say whatever you want to say or do whatever you want to do to her, right? So today I watched her deal with a conflict. I'm not gonna tell you what happened because you know I don't tell shit. I'm gonna tell you what happened, but I'm gonna tell you what I learned. What I watched this woman do was present the conflict, right? But she didn't do this. She said, "You tell me what you know. You tell me what you believe." Right? And the person told her, and she graceful as fuck. I was sitting there like graceful as fuck. She was like, and I knew she was trying. She was. I knew she was upset. She was upset because she grabbed the table first. She like held the table because the person sat right next to her, not me. I sat towards the back. I ain't stupid. I sat towards the back because I was praying this had nothing to do with me. So I sat towards the back. So she held the table because the person was sitting right in front. They sat right next to her. And I was just like, oh, this is gonna go crazy. But I watched her hold the table, and then she elegantly pulled her hands back, clasped it in her hand, and said, "Tell me what you believe. Tell me what you, tell me tell." She was like saying something like, "Tell me your experience," and the person told her, and they kept saying something, and she was like, "Where was it?" And they kept saying it, and I was just like, the first time she did it, I knew exactly why she was doing it. So I was sitting there going like, this is bananas. This is absolutely bananas. Cause it's like, it's one thing hearing about a legend, but it's another thing witnessing them in like motion, like seeing them in motion. Is I hope when people watch me or listen to me or see me do shit that they're like in awe with how I was in awe. Like I was like a little bit close to groupie status. Not fully, but a little bit. But yeah. And it was because the level of emotional control that she exuded was fucking dope. It was like I was sitting there and I was watching her and I was just like, damn. She was like, she wasn't her, you could tell that her agenda was to clarify, teach, and elegantly and regally let a bitch know. That's like I was like, yo, I was watching it. I was just like, yo, this is insane, and she didn't manipulate the person. She didn't get overly or like she told her how it felt. She told her what she told her. And I was watching her do it, and it's like, usually I don't tell you guys too much about what goes on at work, but it's like watching her do it made me like, I gotta tell you guys. Like I gotta tell my friends. Because it was just like I was sitting there and I was just like, damn, that's how you do it. Because it's like, for me, there are times that my emotions get like wrapped up in it. And especially if I'm hurt, you know, but I watched her because I knew she was hurt. I watched her channel the hurt into art. It was insane. And she got her point across. She got her point. She didn't raise her voice. Her voice sounded like this. She did not go above this whisper. And she was like, okay. And I'm sitting there like, God damn. You know, her voice did not go over this. She was very elegant. Very, and no. And I'm like, I'm trying to think, how much do I want to tell you? So it's like the conversation because I was just sitting in the back, just like, and taking notes and shit with my spirit team, you know. And it's gonna be for another video, but I'm gonna put that in another video. I'm gonna tell you how I almost fucked up. But yeah, so it could have turned ugly, but I watched her go like, without saying it, no, we're gonna go back here. She just redirected it. It wasn't like she was like, nah. It was like there was no head popping. There was no, and she's a Black woman. It was the most professionally elegant tell off or correction that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was sitting there like, so that's what emotional control and emotional intelligence looks like in motion. And that's why I had to talk about it, because that's what it was. It was like watching her like just hold the reins of her emotions. And I was just like, this is insane. This is dope, you know. And I learned a lot. I learned that when you're getting upset, lower your voice. I'm Panamanian. We get loud, you know. So I get loud, or especially if the person's yelling at me. What? You yelling at me? You think you could out yell me? What? Let me show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. So what I learned today was when someone raises their voice or someone is challenging you, you don't get louder or bigger. Because for me, I grew up in fear. So I've always felt like if I was bigger and tougher and all this other stuff, that I wouldn't be messed with. Granted, it did kind of work. But it's exhausting. It's especially for me, because I'm a female. I'm not supposed to be in my masculine all the time. And that's another thing. She was so feminine. It was just, and you know, I could feel energy. So the energy in the room, she kept the energy in the room level. It was neutral. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't light. It was just what it was. And I'm telling you, I was just like, damn, I got a lot more to learn. You know. And I was just watching her, and the way she explained how she felt about what happened, I was just like, wow, okay. She didn't make it about her feelings or anything like that. She just, she didn't, I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but she just didn't. And I was just like, okay. And I learned a lot today by just that half hour to hour conversation. And I realized that, especially at work, it's no time for personal shit. It's no time for, oh my God, my feelings, and it's like, and there is a feminine way to let a bitch know. So that's what stay blessed. This is, I love you guys. I'm making another video right now.